Yeah, I think not anything really unexpected, Mark, but I think the fan base is so incredibly behind this hire. I think this was at least right now was the perfect guy on the outside looking in, that a lot of people think is the guy that can bring what many people think that Oklahoma needs is a new level of toughness, is a new level of really commitment to playing really strong on the defensive side. He talked about playing, what they're going to do is be a team that works extremely hard and plays, he plays really in your face, suffocating defense was the words that he used. So I think you're going to see that toughness come to this Oklahoma football team. Obviously it takes a little bit to get whoever comes in, whether it's an individual coach or a head coach or an assistant or a positional coach, it takes a bit to get their culture defined, obviously within the program. But we've talked a little bit about Oklahoma has moved on to, a little bit more of a country club type atmosphere over the last couple of years, and I think that will be something that will change, I think, almost immediately. So, a little bit of shade from time to time, not anything, real derogatory, but I think from a recruiting perspective, I think there is going to be a big change in really the approach, which Oklahoma, and I think this is not necessarily specific to Oklahoma. I think a lot of people just throw out a lot of these big programs, they just throw out offers to almost anyone and everyone. And he was very specific and very direct and said that, that there's not going to be a lot of that. We're not just going to offer everyone. We want people that to come to Oklahoma that actually want to be here, and talked about, the Oklahoma brand and the Oklahoma name should continue to mean something to these recruits. And so yeah, I expect that to be a little bit different. He even talked about going to these not he even made the comment about Oklahoma. We're not going to pull up in these recruiting camps in a Rolls Royce and throw our OU logo. Everyone, like, talking about Oklahoma shouldn't, as a program, shouldn't take a back seat to anyone, and should have that brand should be recognizable, throughout the country, and which it is. I mean, obviously, we know that Oklahoma is among that, 10 to 12 or however many you want to go through from a blue blood perspective. So yeah, I think that is something you're going to see a little bit more of, and then accompanied with who Oklahoma has hired from a strength and conditioning coach perspective. I think that will go a long way in changing the culture from a toughness perspective. That's going to come into that program here pretty soon.
So that country club approach, not necessarily the best way to go when it comes to playing football. Football's a
Right.
rugged, gritty, determined sport. So the country club approach doesn't work too well. If to get across to those kids, put in 3 or 4 years here, and then maybe we'll set you up for 10 years in the NFL. Then you can belong to all sorts of country clubs after that. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see how different this program is and how that's displayed on the field. I'm sure you're aware that Oklahoma State lost its defensive coordinator, who obviously did an outstanding job there, Jim Knowles. I was just comparing the stats of his Oklahoma State defenses with the Ohio State defense he's inheriting, which from an athletic standpoint is superior. So at least they've got a guy that has done a tremendous job at their rival school out of the way. Not that they won't hire somebody to replace him who's capable. But